Hi there. I want to talk about sales today, and I guess this is more for the entrepreneurs of you, in the group. But I wanted to bring it up because I feel like there's so many people who have so many amazing products, and they put it out there once or twice and ask for the sale, and then they retreat in like a little turtle, and they never go back again, and then they wonder why people aren't buying from them. Now, my background is in sales, and I was actually pretty good. I was actually pretty good salesperson. But I guess I didn't really believe in what I was selling, and I really didn't follow the formula. I understood the formula, and then I reframed it a bit for me, and I was more about building relationships rather than just getting sales. And I guess I'm a trustworthy kind of character, so people tend to buy from me anyway. But I wanted to talk about it because I feel like it's one of those things that if you're in this group, maybe, probably part of it is that you want to show up and speak up and increase your bottom line, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. So for me, I guess I've struggled with sales around, it feels kind of predatory, particularly if I'm going after somebody for a sale and I'm trying to convince them that they need what I want, and I'm going and I'm going in, and it feels premeditated and a bit manipulative, and it doesn't sit well with me. But there is another way, because essentially what is a sale? A sale is an exchange. So it's an exchange of what you have, your time, energy, your knowledge, something that you've created, an exchange of that for money. That's it. That's it. That's all it is. And the dollar value can represent the actual value of the product to the person. So that's really all a sale is. It's an energetic exchange. Money for something you have. So why do we feel all yucky about it? I think partly because we have this, and this is interesting because I actually spoke to a friend of mine about this, and about how I felt about sales and about how she felt about sales, because she wasn't putting a clear call to action in, and she wasn't actively selling. And really, before I had spoken about money and how in that podcast episode where I talk about money blocks, which was just a couple of episodes ago, I spoke about money as a person. So if money was a person, it would. And I think if the sales process was a person, it would. And if that is like words like slimy or manipulative or sleazy, then, we need to look at why, and we just need to flip it a bit. So for me, it has to work for you, right? Because when you feel aligned and you feel congruent in what you're selling and how you're selling it, then shit can flow. But when you're not, you're going to hit up against either people aren't going to be buying, and it's not because your product's not good. It's because you, in your heart, don't believe that it's worth the exchange that needs to take place in order for a sale to happen. You hate sales, so how can you expect money to be flowing if you don't like selling? So how do you flip that? How do you flip that on its head? Well, for me, I identified what it was that I didn't like about sales. And for me, it was actively seeking people and then trying to sell them something. So I guess where it came up for me was in Radcasters, I have one-on-one services, and I haven't really been promoting it. And my business manager told me that I should ring people up and basically check in with them and then sell them a session with me. And that felt wrong to me because I've provided them with all that they need. And then if they want to work with me, they can choose. It comes from a different place for me. I feel like when I'm ringing them and asking, them what their problems are and then selling them into a coaching session with me to give them the answers, it feels weird. It doesn't feel like I'm being, I don't know, true and honest and of good intention. It feels a bit slimy. However, if they are to come to me and ask me, then I have no problem in having that exchange happen. So it's about identifying what would you feel comfortable with. For me, it's when people come, okay, here's the deal. Here is the deal. What we need to be doing when it comes to selling is, one, we need to be telling people what we have. Because if we're not telling people what we have, there is no way they can buy. Here is my sales process, and I'm still learning it as I go. One, make sure people know absolutely what it is that you can offer. Two, provide incredible value consistently to those people, whoever they are, your Facebook audience, your, people on your webinars or whatever it is, in Facebook groups, provide incredible value. Three, give a very clear call to action. What's next? What's next? Now that you've given them good value, what do you want them to do? What is next for them? And that can be as simple as, I've just actually watched Denise Duffield-Thomas, who is a friend of mine. I love her to bits. She is a master at this. She has a video. She creates a whole bunch of really useful content for people. And then at the end, she gives a very clear call to action. And it isn't sleazy and it isn't salesy. It's just, if you really enjoyed this and you want to dive further into blah, 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 then come on over to my website and sign up for this. So what you're doing is you're giving a very clear call to action. People need to be told. They need the process to be very simple. When you're putting barriers up between you and the sale, you're just creating hurdles for your customer. You want to make that smooth, but the main thing is that you want to make them know what is the next step. And the next step should be working with you in some capacity, or it should be, an exchange of energy. So I'm recording this video. If, at the moment, I don't have a business that's tied to this. This is just something that I'm exploring. Eventually, there will be. I'm working on putting together a group program where we go over 6 topics over 6 weeks related to showing up and speaking up and really stepping into your power. And when I do have that, you can bet your sweet ass that at the end of these videos, there will be a call to action. And that could be as small as, come and join me in my Facebook group, where then you will be building the rapport, providing value, and in that space, you can ask for the sale. You can tell them what's next. Reframe it. If sales don't work for you, what is next? What is the next step? And so you just kind of keep doing that, Every time you have a clear call to action, if you've got a podcast episode, what is next? If you want to connect with me, jump on my list, then or you just sell directly. Hey, you liked this? Join Radcasters. You liked this? Do this. That's all sales is. Really, when you're providing the amount of incredible content that we are as online marketers these days, and as business owners who have an idea about content marketing, then I think you've already overcome the objections because they know who you are. They know who they're dealing with. All you need to do now is, as female entrepreneurs, we've spent so long fucking around making sure our community is loving and, they love us and we're just giving value. At some point, you need something in exchange for that. And that something, if it's a business, is money. So you need to be asking for that exchange to take place. It's like people aren't mind readers. You can throw a dinner party, but unless you invite people to your dinner party, nobody's coming. You got to invite people. You got to engage with them, and then you've got to decide what is a fair exchange. Anyway, hope this was helpful. Peace out. It's just reframing. Sales, providing value, telling them what is next. It's that simple. Provide value, tell them what action you want them to take. Peace.